fans, friends, and fam. Welcome back to another installment of Drunks in the Pond. Today marks a very special day. It is National Hug a Plumber Day. Okay, I didn't believe it either, but yeah, it's true. Did the MLB skip out on vision tests for the umpires this offseason to spend more money or less money and pocket the rest on Fanatics jerseys? Will Mookie and Ohtani go down as the greatest 1-2 punch in a lineup ever? Studies show, maybe. Does Taylor Swift worship Satan? Look between H&L on your keyboard. Fishing season was the first Saturday in April. Mike Trout knew that and is really trying to prove he's back and carry a team that is not good. Let's crack open a few cold ones and get dirty. Drunks in the Pond, ready to get wet with all you? Be sure to follow us on all socials. I'll give the first pitch to Jay. What do you hear? What do you say?
What's going on, buddy? Happy to be back. Glad to be talking to you as usual. You know, a whole lot going on in baseball this week, but the first thing I want to do is give a quick shout out to a couple people. First off, I want to give a shout out to Tyler, who does all of our social media, our marketing. You know, he's really helped get the Instagram more active on account of me just really not having the time to do it. He's stepped up. He's putting out posts. He's doing a terrific job. We're happy to have him on the team. We couldn't do it without him. And then
The GOAT.
Absolutely. And I want to give another shout out to our new audio engineer who is going to be doing all the editing for the podcast. He's going to make us sound a ton better. I know I completely messed up there, but I'm looking forward to all the work he's going to do for us. And, you know, I really can't wait to see how far this thing can go. So just a quick shout out to Tyler and Z. Really appreciate the work that you guys are doing and are going to do. Just thank you very much.
TNZ, we already got love for you.
Absolutely.
Let's go into this. Jay, I got some good news.
Oh, I love good news.
Some really good news. Let's give a big shout out and big congrats to Art Shalik. I bet you're saying who?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
No, Art Shalik is the oldest living MLB alumni player right now. He just turned 100 today.
Hey.
Former player in the 50s. He played in 58 games. You want to know how this guy made his debut?
Can I make a guess?
Yeah, but it's going to be wrong. But yes.
All right. Well, if I'm already going to be wrong, can I guess that I'm going to assume he's a pitcher?
Yes.
I'm going to say he threw at Mickey Mantle and knocked Mantle on like the 60-day DL.
Ooh, nice name drop, but no.
Damn.
Very close, though. He was called up to replace a 19-year-old struggling Mickey Mantle on the roster.
Are you serious?
100%.
Get the fuck out of here. I was that close?
Yeah.
Holy
This guy came up and, I mean, he didn't have an amazing career, but he had a career in baseball. And you know what that means? You were pretty damn good.
I agree.
His roommate was Yogi Berra.
Oh, what a guy.
This man has some of, if not, the best stories possible. This is when players were wild.
Absolutely.
And I'm not talking about Marcelo Ozuna beating his wife, and I'm not talking about anybody else doing anything absolutely crazy. Sorry, Bauer. You got lucky. But we're talking about the guys back in the day who would drink mid-game, who would smoke a cigar in the dugout, who would smoke a cigarette and put it out in the dirt before they went to the outfield. We're talking about when men were men, like real men. We're talking about when Mickey Mantle used to go into the bullpen to go take a leak in the middle of an inning. This is basically the epitome of when you had stories, and if there were podcasts then.
Oh, my God.
Whew.
Could you imagine Mel Allen, the Yankees commentator at the time, you know, after the game's over, goes on a podcast and just lets the world know what was going on that day? Oh, my God, man. They would have made more movies about the Yankees than I can honestly ever imagine. Like
they would have made some really good movies.
Like, I mean, yeah, we have Pride of the Yankees, 61, but I mean, with all the information we have now on what was going on back then, I mean, holy shit, man. Ah, dude, if those walls could talk,
Oh,
I mean, I would love to talk to that dude for like an hour or so and just be like, "Yo, what was it like?" He'd be like, "Man, you have no idea."
so you're right. I don't. That's why I'm asking. I'd love to know. I'd love to know what kind of debauchery and filth you guys did. Or were you one of those players like Maris who just went home after the game?
Dude, I don't know, man. When you're in that clubhouse with guys like Barra and Mantle and just all that camaraderie, you just
Joey D.
I can't imagine there being a night that just didn't happen. Like everything must have happened.
Yeah, but also there were plenty of nights that didn't happen because they just don't remember them.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
They would have all fit in well on the pod. Let's just put it that way.
Happy birthday, man. Congratulations, making it to 100.
Art Shalik, you're an absolute living legend. We applaud you. Congrats, buddy. What other feel good story?
Oh, a twofer?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's more, ironically enough, it deals with the Yankees too. And I don't,
Oh, man.
usually with the Yankees, nothing makes me feel good.
I was going to say, are we really kissing the Yankees' ass this week? Is this really what we're doing?
This one's not kissing the Yankees' ass. This one's against the Yankees. It just has to deal with them.
Oh, okay.
Today, the A's shortstop, Nick Allen, hit a home run.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is that news? I mean, it's an A's shortstop who probably won't be there come September. I'm not saying he will be on another team. He just probably will get fed up and retire, or he'll just get sent down to the minors because he's playing well. But the A's are playing the Yankees. Nick Allen's, I guess you want to call him uncle, is Aaron Boone. He is married to Aaron Boone's niece. How great would it have been to just round the bases and flip off your uncle?
Me personally, I would have been over the moon excited because, I mean, listen, I love my family. I mean, I think that's abundantly clear.
Yes.
But if I had the chance to throw it in their face, I absolutely am taking full advantage. Like, I am stopping on second, turning to the dugout, looking him in the eye, and just giving him a quick flip of the bird and being like, yo, how'd you like them apples?
What are you talking about, dude? I'll walk into work tomorrow and flip off your uncle.
I mean, I might just skip work, drive down to my old job, and just flip them all just for the hell of it.
That's an absolute win. Like, you cannot say that the holidays will not be interesting.
Oh, dude. He's going to bring that up and be like, yeah, remember that time I homered off you? And he'd be like, oh, my God, man.
Yeah, I went yard off of your team, the team that you're managing. How nice is that? I'm a career minor leaguer on this Oakland A's team. I'm sorry, this A's team. We don't like the word Oakland.
I think the biggest problem would be of that whole thing is that, you know, Nick Allen would be sitting there putting it in Aaron Boone's face, and Aaron Boone would still somehow find a way to get ejected from the dinner table.
Well, in fairness, it was probably one of the kids in the other room who said something.
Yeah, but
and they just sent Boone out.
yeah, but since Aaron Boone is there, Aaron Boone's getting kicked out of the table, and he'll be like, I didn't even do anything. He'll be like, dude,
we don't care.
Yeah, we don't care, bud. You're out.
Yeah, there's going to be about 85 word apology issued in the family email chain, and not one of them, or not one combination of the words will say, I made a mistake.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, the family's going to completely double down and try and justify why it was fair to kick him off the table. And since we're on the topic of Aaron Boone getting kicked out of the dinner table, for the people that don't know, we should jump into why Aaron Boone got kicked out of a baseball game for not doing anything. And this was insane to watch because
one of the most comical interactions I've ever seen.
The only umpire interaction I think that was better was spring training last year with JT Realmuto when he called for the ball, for the ump to put the ball in his glove.
Yep.
And then JT just dropped his glove because he thought the umpire was just going to give it to the pitcher. He was going to throw it out to him.
Makes sense.
Obviously. The umpire dropped the ball on the ground. JT looked at him and got thrown out of the game because the umpire thought that he was messing with him and just proceeded to throw him out of a spring training baseball game.
To get thrown out of a spring training game is insane.
I've never seen. You know what's funny though?
No, Lance Lynn got thrown out this year, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lance Lynn got tossed out of a spring training game.
And then he went to the bullpen to continue his bullpen because that's what starters do in spring training. If they don't complete their pitch amount or their pitch allotment, they will go back to the bullpen and finish throwing that many pitches or tweaking and working and refining. Because if they are on an inning count or an inning limit for the day, say, for instance, Lance Lynn was only supposed to pitch 3 innings that day.
Yeah.
But he did it in 18 pitches. Guess what? He still has to go work on his arm.
Yeah, 100%.
And that ump was like, eat a dick, get out of here, man. I told you, you're tossed. That means you cannot be on the playing field. Well, I'm in the bullpen. I can still see you. I hate you. Go away.
Dude, umpires this year have been absolutely brutal, but not to stray too far off the topic. So Aaron Boone had said something to this umpire previously at some point in the game, and the umpire was like,
this was early in the game.
This was very early in the game. I think this was maybe the second or third inning.
If that.
And
yeah, I think it was first. Maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't watch the game. I just saw highlights.
And the umpire had his eye on Aaron Boone, and Boone's like, I'm not doing anything, bro. I'm sitting here. I'm just managing the game. No worries. Like
He's literally looking and going, hey.
Yeah, he's not doing a single thing. Meanwhile, there is a fan in the first row behind the dugout who is just heckling this umpire. Like, oh, dude, he's giving it to this umpire bad. Now, it's very rare that an umpire tries to kick a fan out of the game unless they do something that is just justifiably stupid.
Sure, if you're out there throwing out the most profane language or being racist or being an absolute bag, you deserve to be kicked out.
Absolutely, 100%.
There's a limit to heckling. There's a big limit to heckling. And it's not crazy.
No.
But the limit is a limit.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. I mean, but like the fan was just giving it to this umpire. And the umpire was like, you know what? I've had enough. So, you know, at this point, you're thinking, okay, he's going to say something to the fan. Or he's going to be like, calm down. He turns to Aaron Boone, the manager of the Yankees, who, let me remind you, is not doing a single thing. He is standing at the step, just watching the game. The umpire kicks Aaron Boone out of the game for something he didn't even do, wasn't even a part of. And Aaron Boone comes out and he's like, what the hell? Why am I ejected? And the umpire's like, you're gone. Get out of here. I heard you. I saw you. Mind you, Aaron Boone is just like, Aaron Boone is just as confused as everybody else on what is even happening. And I'm going to name drop here. John Boy did a great review of this whole thing on their channel.
Oh, he always does. He's the best.
And the other umpire came over. I think it was the first base umpire. He's like, hey, what's going on? Aaron Boone is giving him his case saying, I didn't say a thing. I didn't do anything. And I'm getting kicked out of the game. And instead of the home umpire being like, you know what? I made a mistake. I'm sorry. That's my bad. I thought it was you. He doubles down and still keeps going after Aaron Boone. And at this point, it is just like, it's like, am I watching a baseball game or am I watching like an umpire power grasp because they don't know how to just let the game play out without having some part in how it goes?
I didn't hear what the fan was saying. I didn't hear it. But I can tell you that ump should have had a little bit more restraint and just kind of waited until, middle of the inning when everyone's retreating back to the dugouts and been like, hey, let me get someone from security over here. Find out where that's coming from.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it takes.
Instead of tossing a manager. And you want to talk about the MLB wasting time and trying to shorten games? Pretty sure them kicking a coach out for no reason was a waste of time.
100%.
I don't know how much time that added to the game, but it had to be at least 5 minutes, 5 to 10 for especially Boone, because dude, when he gets tossed, it's not a quick, all right, see ya, and
Yeah, no.
it's just ridiculous.
And
Drunk with power.
my biggest thing is that Aaron Boone, like over the years, has been kicked out of a lot of games. Some of them have been justified. Don't get me wrong,
Sure.
but it seems like more often than not, he's getting booted out of games for just the most simple, stupid things. Like I'm pretty sure if you looked up reasons for him being ejected, the number one thing is going to be bad strike calls. And it's crazy because a pitch is clearly low. It's almost in the dirt, and the ump calls it a strike. Aaron Boone's like, yo, that pitch is way too low, man. Like that's not even in the zone. And the umpire immediately, you're going, see. And Boone's like, dude, meanwhile, you have some managers who can straight up give it to the umpire, and the umpire's like, no, hold on. Like, I don't want to kick you out. But it seems like when it comes to Aaron Boone, for some reason, these umpires just like, they're like, oh, we're kicking you out of the game at some point. Like, it's going to happen. The umpires this year so far have just been bad, man. Some of them have been good. There have been some games called just about down the middle. Like, I did see one umpire, I think his strike to ball percentage was like 99%. Like, legit almost perfect. He almost called a perfect game. And I really wish I could remember his name to give him a shout out, but it's just not coming to me right now. But then you see there's umpires like Angel Hernandez.
The ump that ruined Galarraga's game?
No, that wasn't Joe West. Who was that? That was...
No.
Man, I can't remember who that was. I can see his face, and it's just not coming to me.
Jim Joyce,
that's it. But, yeah, I mean, Wyatt Langford got called out on 3 strikes, right? 3 strikes, you're out. No problem. Except they weren't strikes.
That's baseball, baby.
They weren't strikes. They were about a foot off the plate.
They were 6 to 11 inches off the plate.
Like,
that's ridiculous.
Any other umpires calling this 3 balls, no doubt. It's the same pitch 3 times out of the zone, and he goes strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, you're out. And everyone's like, dude, how are umpires allowed to be this bad and keep a job? It makes 0 sense. It's ruining the game. And if this is how you want it to be, then you're going to get a lot of fans pushing for these robot umpires just so we can at least get a game that's called correctly instead of these umpires power tripping, kicking managers are out, making bad calls just because they want a little bit of attention. I cannot stand it, man. It drives me up the wall.
Well, yeah, I mean, speaking of the robot umps, like, I don't think it's that much of a bad idea. I mean, there's still an ump behind the plate. There's still an ump back there. It's just the pitcher will be like, where was that blue? And he'll tap his cap and be like, okay, review it. They'll show it on the screen. And basically, it's a challenge. That's everything that I've heard or seen from the minors. Was it in single A and double A they're doing it right now?
Double A.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that. Baseball would be a lot better if umpires if there was a challenge for balls and strikes, I'm completely fine with it. If an umpire is going to be bad at his job, then you should be able to turn around and challenge him and be like, dude, there is no way that is a strike. There's no way. And if the ump doesn't like it, then who cares? The umpire turns around, he says challenge, and if they overturn it, okay, well then the umpire sucks at his job. Keep overturning these goddamn calls. Call these umpires out for being bad at their job.
I just wish there was accountability.
They're never going to take accountability. They never will.
There's no repercussions whatsoever for an ump being bad at his job.
Nope.
And listen, I'm all for unions. I respect them. I think they're great. But this umpires union, it's got baseball by the balls. No pun intended.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
It just doesn't make any sense why. They're like weathermen. They could be wrong every game.
Yep.
Still have a job. And make more money than me. I can't be wrong. I'd like to know why they can always be wrong with no repercussions.
Yeah.
Like it's becoming more of a nuisance to the game because of how I can't believe I'm saying this. How much we have access to visualizing the game. Social media, everything. But yet there's still blackouts and all that stupid. So yeah, that's neither here nor there. But I still don't understand why there's zero accountability. If you're wrong, why do you still get every single opportunity to be behind home plate?
I agree.
Like, they did it to Angel Hernandez several years ago, where they didn't let him ump during the playoffs. Maybe it's because you're at your job.
You can't let that man call a playoff game. You can't.
But, I mean, when you're claiming discrimination and all this, it's tough because does anyone want to argue discrimination? No. No, that's a road no one wants to go down except for the person who claimed it.
Exactly.
And it's pain in the ass because then you ostracize yourself and you make yourself completely separate from all of your workmates and your for lack of better words, your team.
Yeah.
You made yourself numero uno bad guy. But guess what? You still got the job. And for some reason, I never see Angel Hernandez come out to the field with a black eye. I mean, even if he had a black eye, if he was calling a game one eye shut, it might be better. I think he needs glasses or contacts or to just stop being an umpire. That would be the best option.
The one thing I do like about the whole robot ump idea is that if the MLB does bring it on, you're going to see a lot of umpires who have those ginormous egos, love the power trips, all of a sudden going, well, I don't want to be an umpire anymore if my decisions don't matter. Good. Good. Get the hell away from this game.
See, I want to agree with that. I want to. But don't forget, Jay, they're in a union. So tenure matters. They don't care at that point.
They can go to the college level. They can go to the college level.
Yeah, but their job is going to be safe no matter what now.
That's fine. I'm not saying that you
less reason to care.
I'm not saying you got to fire them. Like, I'm not saying any of that.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying that
I've never heard of it not being fired.
I'm just saying when it comes to guys like CB Buckner, Angel Hernandez making these bad calls, a batter being able to go, yo, I'm challenging it, and calling out these umpires for being absolute dogs at their job, they're not going to like it. It might get to the point where they're just like, you know what, if this is the way the game's trending, where what I say doesn't matter because it just gets overturned, they might just walk away at that point, which I'm honestly fine with.
Sure.
If this new generation of baseball is going to help seed out these terrible umpires and keep ones that don't trip over being wrong every once in a while, I'm fine with it. So be it. But we got to do something to get these dudes out of baseball, man, because they are ruining game after game after game. It's so bad, man. So bad.
So I have a theory about why Boone got kicked out.
Okay.
Because that umpire was a big fan of John Sterling. And the fact that John Sterling is retired and the fact that the Yankees gave him a fucking 80-inch TV as his going away present. Not even a go watch. 36 years he's in the booth calling Yankees games. My entire life. And they give him a 80-inch TV. And he's leaving for undisclosed health concerns. Did they really think this is going to be great sitting at home in front of my 80-inch TV now. Thanks, New York.
So there's a couple things I genuinely love about this John Sterling. And shout out to Section 10 podcast because they were the ones that brought it to my attention, which cracked me up even more. One of the Yankees' big sponsors is LG. If you don't know, LG makes TVs. That TV was an LG. So technically, the Yankees didn't even fucking buy the TV. The sponsors gave it to them. So the Yankees didn't do in that case. And better,
it's like a $600 TV, dude. They give us $600 36-year goodbye present.
But here's my favorite part of the whole thing. Who the hell is to say he even has room for this?
It's New York.
The dude has an apartment in New York. So there's a solid chance he's got room for it working for the Yankees.
How's he getting it home?
But this dude could have a whole setup in his house. He's like, I love this the way it is. And then he's walking home with this 85-inch TV, and he's like, where the am I going to put this thing? It's probably sitting in his dining room, leaning up against like a table, and he's just like, I don't know what the hell to do. He's probably going to give it to his kids. He's like, here, the Yankees gave it to me. I don't have room for it. Here, give it to little Joey for passing his spelling test.
Can you let the two 13-year-old twins fight over it? Ugh.
Like, the dude's worked for you for over 30 years. That's the best that you could do?
Dude, like,
come on, dude.
Companies,
stop it.
Companies will give you a gold watch for 25 years of service. Are you kidding me? You gave them a TV that's a tax write-off for the company that gave it to you. You gotta be kidding me. Like, such a slap in the... Not even the face, because John Sterling's money came from his face, his mouth. And they just slapped him in the with an 80-inch TV. It's New York. He guarantee he didn't drive to the games. If he did, he came in a town car or something along those lines. How are you getting an 80-inch TV home? Are they going to send like a Yankees pickup truck to his apartment or house? Like, he guarantee is a brownstone or something. Are they going to send that Yankees pickup truck to just pull up out front and be like, meet me, we're here? And he's like, I'm sick. Can you not do this right now? No one knows why he's sick. That's why all I'm saying is he's sick. I'm not going to assume. But it's the most absolute asinine gift to give someone who, for 36 years, have given you some of the top 10, top 20 Yankees calls of all time.
Yeah, that's right.
He called the entirety of Jeter's career, Posada's, Pettit's, Messina's, like that absolute legendary core that they had, and you give them an $800 TV. If that, it might have been on sale.
Nah, that thing was not on sale.
It was. Yeah, it was free. It was free.
That thing was free from their sponsor. The Yankees didn't put a dime out. LG was probably like, we want to do a great thing for John Sterling. The Yankees were like, okay. Like,
cool, that takes us off the hook.
Yeah, it's like, great, now we don't have to do anything for him because you're going to give him a TV. And who the hell is to say that this dude retiring from baseball wants to go home and watch TV? This dude probably wants to get his health in order and then go see more of the world. This dude's not going to want to sit on the couch and watch TV.
Most likely, he's probably sitting at home watching John Wick right now. But that's whatever.
If the dude's watching John Wick, more props to him, man.
Yeah, I mean, John Sterling's always seemed like kind of a badass.
I agree. I don't know, man.
It's silly. It's silly. I think that's the best word to describe it. It's just silly that would have even happened.
Yeah.
Like, you're the Yankees. You could have literally given him an autographed ball from Babe Ruth or something.
If someone gave me an autographed ball from Babe Ruth as my retirement gift, I would cry for about a week straight.
They could have given him so much memorabilia. They could, like, it's not that the dude probably doesn't have more autographs than I can even read. Like, he has to have a room dedicated to it. Like, it's just, it just reminds me of The Simpsons when Kirk Van Houten got fired from the Cracker Factory. And he said, so that's it? After this many years? So long, good luck? And the guy who fires him is saying, I don't recall saying good luck. It's stupid. It's hilariously stupid.
I also want to just make this, I want to turn this into a PSA right now. Just remember, and this is to all the listeners, remember that this is just a job. It pays your bills. When the day comes where you retire, you leave, they're probably not going to do for you unless you work for a great company. John Sterling put in over 30 years for the New York Yankees, a $1 billion team, and they gave him an 80-inch TV because of a sponsorship. Just remember to always make time for your family. These jobs are not just life and death. Remember that you have other priorities in life. All right?
Hell yeah, brother.
Don't make this job your whole life. Don't miss out on spending time with your kids. Make time for other things. Make time to just go sit in the sand on the beach, relax, and just listen to the waves crash. Work is not everything.
You're absolutely correct. I mean, to think that a company, a brand such as the Yankees, $1 billion entity, the symbol is synonymous with the city.
Yep.
The hats alone, you'll find them on people who are literally in cartels and like militias all across the world. They're in the jungle and they're literally crawling in mud and they're yet wearing a Yankees hat. And they've never even been to this country because that name, that brand, that symbol is synonymous with the world.
Yeah.
And it's just to think that they won't give someone who gave 36 years of service to them. Granted, we don't know what happened behind closed doors. Maybe perhaps they're paying every single medical expense that he's ever going to need.
You would really hope so.
I mean, you would think after 36 years, the company that you're retiring from, you kind of have like full benefits from them forever, or at least a long time. And it's just, it feels absolutely stupid.
It does.
This whole situation. And then the fact that it was paraded on TV and, oh, God, it rubbed me the wrong way so bad.
Like, the fact that it was paraded on TV was really annoying. But the fact that the Yankees tried to make it seem like they were doing such a great thing for him, I think pissed me off even more because they were like, we're doing this for you, John. Like, thank you for your service. Here's this 80-inch TV. And he's just like, why? Like, what for?
The fact that players carried it out. Like, you couldn't even call back a couple legends to help carry it out. Like,
dude, if Mariano Rivera and Posada would have like carried that TV, I'd have been like, yo, that's cool. But
yeah, I would have liked it a whole lot more. But who the hell carried it out?
But they're like Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells. Do me a favor, since you're not playing today, why don't you carry this TV out to John Sterling? John Sterling was probably like, oh, that's cool. You can't get A-Rod for one day,
Hey, where's Derek?
Was Hideki Matsui busy? It's like, come on, man. Like,
Hideki Matsui was somewhere trying to make sure his interpreter wasn't around.
Yeah, bro, wasn't stealing money from him.
I
don't know, man.
We spent so much time on the situation, only due to the fact of how hilariously, not rude, but just inconsiderate it was. But whatever, they did a gesture. That's really all I can say. They did a gesture for him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a good or bad gesture, but it's just a gesture.
Yeah, that's all it is.
So, we did get some news today. Happened around, say, like 3:30, 4 o'clock. Players Weekend is back. Returning in August.
Yes. Yes.
But wait. It's not the same.
No. No.
No.
Wait.
So, Players Weekend will be 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There will not, however, be the one thing that anybody actually cared about for Players Weekend, and that was nicknames on the jerseys.
No nicknames.
The clubhouse nicknames were not on the jerseys, or will not be on the jerseys this year. So therefore, we will not get Rich Hill wearing a Dick Mountain jersey. We will not get Mike Trout wearing a Kid jersey. Kiiid. And last time it happened was 2019. So these two guys were in the league. You had Sin-Soo Choo. His was Korean Kid. Unfortunately, Jason Kipnis no longer in the league. Dirtbag.
That's the greatest. That's the second best one.
I love it.
Dirtbag is such a great name on the back of a jersey.
Zach Britton was with a K, because I guarantee people were just spelling his name wrong and putting ZAC or ZACH.
Very possible.
And I think that's hilarious that you're just kind of giving a big F you to everyone. Be like, dude, learn my name. But herein lies, in my opinion, the problem that I've mentioned several times already.
Which is what, Rich?
Okay, Zach Britton. Cool. It's spelled with a K. Does anybody recognize you when your name's not on the back of the jersey?
No.
Now, this is a big you from me, and most likely you, Jay, and Joe, even though he's not here, gonna say the same exact thing. A big you to the MLB for not giving this league individuality and personality. Cool. You're gonna allow them to wear custom cleats and have custom bats? Cool.
Players Weekend, baby.
Cool. And you say it's about expressing their personalities? Who the personality is their bat?
No one.
I mean, maybe Otani, because he does all of his talking with his bat.
Yeah, but is his bat really any special?
No. But, like, the thing that makes me so mad about this, and it's not even just about the nicknames, it's about the MLB dropping the ball one more GD time. Why will you not let players be themselves, or at least have fun? They had fun with their nicknames. They had fun with that. It was just, I can't even describe it any other way. It was just fun for the league. And now you're just like, nah.
On the topic of Manfred killing baseball, I do want to throw out some points aside from Players Weekend getting absolutely crapped on, which I feel like in the next month or so, when they see all the backlash this is getting, they'll probably turn around and be like, okay, we'll give the nicknames back. But we'll see how that goes.
But no Dick Mountain.
I want to throw out these points. And I got this a couple weeks ago, we'll say. NBC dropped MLB. NBC. ESPN is dropping MLB coverage after this season. 3 teams, regional cable providers, have gone bankrupt and broadcast moved to free streaming. Bally's / Diamond, which is 12 more teams on the verge of bankruptcy. Rob Manfred has to be top 5 worst commissioners baseball has ever had.
Sports history. All sports.
Sports history, he's still top 5. So yes, I agree.
Yeah.
The fact that you can be this bad at your job and have some people out here going, he's saving baseball, he's speeding the games up. I'm sorry. I'm going to argue this again. We argued this a couple episodes ago, and it's still annoying. Tanner Houck threw a complete game shutout. One of the greatest feats a pitcher can do in baseball. Not only that, he threw it in 94 pitches. Something that hasn't been done since Greg Maddux.
No, it's been done. It's been done a few times, but it's not often. It's few far between that happens. So it is a feat. It's a Greg Maddux complete game.
It's a Greg Maddux feat. Okay. All right. So my apologies.
That's all right. We still love you.
What bothers me is, besides the fact this game was an hour and 49 minutes, could you imagine this is like the one time you go to a game and you're like, I want to turn this into a whole thing. Like, go out, grab some food, sit at the ballpark, have a couple drinks, relax. The game's an hour and 49 minutes, and then you're already going home. It is way too goddamn short. They need to do something with either opening the stadiums early to get people in so they can actually do all these things, or they need to ease up on these time crunches, because that is insane. A game should not be any less than maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2.5 hours. That should be your base time for a baseball game. I do agree that some games do go a little too long, but as a baseball fan, I do like watching like the 16 inning, 17 inning games where it's like Jesus Christ, like these teams just either can't score a run or they just can't stop scoring runs to the point where it's a tie after every single inning. That shit is fun to me. Some people are like, okay, just get shit over with. I'm done. I don't care anymore, which is fine. Not everyone's going to agree.
Could you imagine being that family of 4 that takes their family to the game and they spend $300 for the night?
Minimum.
And you're out of there faster than a Despicable Me 2 movie?
I'll be honest with you. That right there would piss me off. I'd be like, this is why we don't come to fucking baseball games. We spent all this money, and we didn't even spend 2 hours in the stadium.
Yeah, it's just
insane.
Like, don't get me wrong. Is there really a lot of room to complain? No. But not even just for purists. For people who want to experience the ballpark, experience the game, and the night or the day in general, pretty tough to do that in under 2 hours.
Yeah.
You're seeing almost 2/3 of Avatar. It sucks. But it's not the worst thing possible, but it does suck. Because like I said, it sucks for the family. I mean, a lot of the things that they did where they're making games a little bit earlier, that half hour earlier does help for bringing your family to a game. Instead of it being a 7:05 start, it being a 6:20 or 6:35 start, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Because that means your kids aren't getting put in bed at 10:45, 11:30 some nights. I remember growing up, sitting in the living room with my pops, watching the Phillies, and it would come on at 7:05, 7:35. I'd be up till almost midnight watching most games. And he'd be like, "You got school in the morning." I'm like, "Do I?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, you do." And I'm like, suddenly I'm not feeling well.
It's like, I think I have a slight cough.
Dude, tomorrow's the last day of school. Well,
yeah.
I hope everyone says their goodbyes.
I was going to say, do I really have to go to the last day of school? Really?
What are they going to do, fail me?
Yeah. We're going to do hold me back on the last day? Okay.
All right. But, like, it's nice and refreshing when you're sitting at home to bang out a game in 2 hours. It's nice.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
When you're sitting at home. When you're at the park, you're there to be at the park and experience, have a good time, make a night of it. I'm not trying to go someplace else after I just walked around that stadium, sat down, and watched 6.5 innings of baseball, if that, because I was at concessions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it sucks. There's a lot of pros and cons to it. Like I said, I think the biggest con is with the game being so short and the fact that attendance is up across the league and makes time at concessions longer.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you want to enjoy the night, it's a bad thing. If you want to really bear down and hang out, bring some cash with you. This way you can give it to a vendor for a beer or two. It's been a while since I've seen a guy walk around with hot dogs.
Well, so I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the vendors now are card only. Like, some of them don't even take cash anymore.
Disgusting. My green is as good as anyone's.
Which is absolutely insane. The fact that you pretty much have to have your debit card just to park in the lot, because they won't take if parking is $20 and I show you a $20 bill and you go, "Nah, we can't take that." I immediately get annoyed because that is perfect legal tender. What do you mean you do not take cash? Cash should always be a fucking option. Not everyone likes to put their money in a bank and have a bank control what happens with their money. Like that.
But also, not a lot of people trust that there's no skimmers and everything like that at the stadium.
Exactly.
I mean, with the fact that debit and credit theft is up so high, and you're dealing with all this, I don't want to get into a banking argument because it's one of those things just rubs me the wrong way.
That's another thing, is that you could have some random guy who shows up in just one of those yellow highlight jackets and black dress pants and just holds one of those skimmers and it's like, "Yeah, parking's $35. Put your card to it." That dude's making at least 10 grand just standing there.
Dude, I'm still standing in the middle I'm still in the middle of the street. I haven't even pulled into the lot yet. It's cool. Just go ahead and swipe it.
Like, that is insane that we're supposed to have that kind of trust in these people to do the actual right thing. I don't know, man. I love going to games, but this whole no cash and games being like an hour and 45 minutes, it just doesn't do it for me. Will I continue going to games? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean I have to like the way that the game is trending.
How else are we going to help pay Bryce and Trey's contract? Come on.
It's not my problem. I didn't give them in over $300 million.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I don't see Bryce and Trey looking at my current debt situation and going, hey, you know what? We're going to help this kid out. So, no, I am not helping to pay for those contracts. I'm sorry. I love that they're here. We love you guys, but that is not my responsibility. I have $1. Do you take cash? I can give you $1 right now. I can probably find another $1. I'll give you both $1.
Ooh, you don't like cash. I'm sorry. I can't Venmo you. My phone's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Then what? Then what do you do? You know?
I'm all for change. I'm all for modernizing. I think going cashless is one of the dumbest things that society's doing right now.
1,000,000%.
It's just, it just doesn't make any sense. You get all these kids who literally can't even count money to begin with, going into stores and be like, "You don't take Venmo? You don't take Tap? No, we're a business. We have cash or card. Sorry that mommy and daddy only put your card on your phone because they have a feeling you'll lose it." And I've seen that all too many times at work. So one of my favorite things to do is say, nah, real money only. And they don't like that because they don't understand it. But one of my favorite things is to watch them try and count money. Kids cannot count money. They literally can't. And it is one of my favorite things to actually watch their hangovers type mind, where you see all the numbers and figures bounce around them and they're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's this day and age. I mean, I guess that might be one of the issues with the people who work for the stadiums and concessions. They just are tired of money going missing or not being counted properly. Could be a contributing factor, that I understand. But that is not the end-all be-all of why there should not be cash accepted. It is legal tender. I have it in my pocket. Why could I not use it?
So, there's a topic I want to talk about. Getting on track with baseball again.
Yes, please.
Rich, you've happened to have seen the rising number in UCL injuries in pitchers, correct?
Unfortunately, my fantasy has, yes.
How many pitchers do you have because of UCL injuries on the IL?
Currently, I have 2.
Okay.
But they are both star pitchers.
Oh.
Framber Valdez and Nick Pivetta. Nick Pavetta's a budding star, I should say.
So you would say that, UCLs are a big problem with baseball this year.
All too common, unfortunately. I mean, there was that week, 2-3 weeks ago at this point, where there was like 6 pitchers within a matter of 4 or 5 days?
Yeah. And
problematic. We spoke about this.
So I want to ask you this. And I really started thinking about it with the Phillies this week, with Taijuan Walker coming off the IL and the Phillies talking about taking Spencer Turnbull out of the rotation to be able to watch his load management. I was like, okay, that's fair, but he's also got a under 2 ERA, and he's only given up a couple runs this year so far.
He has been a great addition to fantasy for me this year, and I will give you his exact stats. He is 27 innings pitched, 2 wins, 30 strikeouts, a 1.33 ERA. That, my friend, is a very good pitching performance for the first month of the season.
So let me ask you this. If that pitcher was putting up those stats for your team, is that someone you would want to take out of your rotation?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So what if I told you that to help watch his load management, what if I told you that you could give him an extra day off? What would you say to that?
It depends. Will that affect his bullpen time? Will it affect his actual throwing regimen? Will it do anything to disrupt his current process? Because pitchers are the most superstitious of all players in all sports.
That's a fair assessment. Where I was going with this is, instead of taking Turnbull out of the rotation to insert Walker, who we haven't seen yet this year, so we can't even give a proper assessment how would you feel about them switching over to a 6-man rotation to keep Walker and Turnbull both in the rotation, but also trying to keep the rest of your starters healthy? Considering the fact, and not knock on wood, 100%, I'm knocking on everything I have that's wood. You've had a healthy rotation for this year. You haven't, like, anytime a pitcher was off, it was for a day's rest, which I'm perfectly fine with. I have no problems with it at all.
Sure.
But with the rise in UCL injuries, I feel like your pitchers could use that extra day to be like, you know what? I just pitched on Sunday. I got to go again on Friday. Like, I'd rather get another day to possibly get some rest. I would be all for it. I think a 6-man rotation will help keep your pitchers healthy. That extra day's rest will probably do them a little bit better, a little more good than bad. And I feel like in the long haul, and here's the thing, who even knows if Taijuan Walker comes back and dominates? He could come back in this first game and get shelled for 7 runs over 10 hits, and we're sitting here going, really? We took Turnbull out for this dude? And then we're right back to square one. I think the right way to go right now is a 6-man rotation, but I want to get your input on it.
So that would take, if my math is correct, that would take the average number of starts for a pitcher who does not miss any starts for the season or misses maybe 1 to 2, going from about 33 to 35 down to about 25 to 27. Now, say if you are one of those multi-$100 million pitchers or just one of those $100 million pitchers, do you think the team that is paying and signing your paycheck is agreeing that you deserve to start less?
So I think for those pitchers who are making that amount of money, I think those pitchers have earned it. 100%, don't get me wrong. If you're throwing 100 miles an hour and you know how to pinpoint it, you deserve the money you get. But I'm also paying you to stay healthy. I'm not paying you to get hurt. So I would much...
Well, then stop. In my opinion, stop throwing 100 miles an hour, because that's what's causing the UCL injuries.
Listen, I am all for pitchers focusing more on pitching instead of throwing. I'd much rather you be dominant with where you can place the ball instead of trying to fire it by guys. If I'm paying you over $100 million, I am expecting you to make all of your starts. I'm expecting you to be dominant. I would much rather give you that extra day of rest instead of putting you on the IL and you missing an entire year and a half because you have to recover from a UCL injury. And there's no guarantee that when you do heal up, that you're going to be the same pitcher you were before. We just saw it with Michael Soroka. He was dominant with the Braves when he first came up. He was a great pitcher. He hurt his arm. Now he's on the White Sox, and this dude looks bad. Now, that's not to say he can't get it back. He most definitely can. But there's two sides of a player after these UCL injuries. You can come back and you can dominate, perfect. Or you can come back and nothing's the same. Your speed's down a couple ticks and you can't locate. So now not only are you not worth that money, but now that team's going to be like, well, Jesus, now we're stuck with this dude. We can't trade him because no one wants the contract, and the guy's hurt every year. There has to be a line drawn with contracts. I would much rather pay a guy and give him that extra day of rest if that means he's going to live up to the contract.
I don't want to disagree, but I truly do think that the number one thing pitchers need to do is stop overthrowing. I don't care about anything else with UCL injuries. That's what it's stemming from. I'm not a doctor, but it's got to be that. And also the combination of the banned foreign substances, like no spider tack, nothing like that. That's definitely a contributing factor with all these pitching injuries that we've seen over the past several years. I mean, Tyler Glasnow came out and flat out said it. He goes, this is going to be an adjustment. We have to learn how to pitch again without this. Yeah, you were doing this since some of you guys since high school. If you went to a high school that had money.
Yeah.
I can't imagine many other reasons as to why the UCL injuries are taking just like a sudden uptick. It's because of years and years of abuse on your arm. And I've said this before, you don't see wrist injuries in pitchers
It's always the elbow
or shoulder. It's one of the two,
or the shoulder. Yeah.
which is crazy because if you think about it, your wrist can do a lot of different motions. Elbow, kind of about 2 or 3. Your wrist can almost go in a full, complete circle. It's just your elbow's not meant to put that much torque behind it. And you just need to learn how to pitch instead of throw. Some guys are gifted. We know that. Some guys are gifted.
Personally, I do believe that we are at a point now with baseball that like no one wants to be these pinpoint pitchers anymore. Like the pitchers that you see getting these contracts are the Spencer Striders and the Biebers who were getting over $100 million. Well, Bieber's in a contract year and unfortunately out with a UCL injury, so we don't know what he'll get. I can't
He'll get tryouts. That's about it.
I can't imagine he's going to command a ton of money. I think
He's not going to be an invite to spring training. Put it that way.
I think if he stayed healthy this year, there would definitely be a good argument for good money for him.
Oh, absolutely.
But coming off a UCL injury of all injuries, that's going to hurt the value a lot. Luckily, Spencer Strider got his money, so he's going to be set regardless. I think he'll be fine in the end of it all. But
yeah, I mean, you got two pitchers who are vastly different, but very similar.
Yeah.
They both throw hard. Bieber's a little bit more finesse. Strider's pure power. You got pitchers like Nola, who just got a great deal in the offseason. Great deal. Nola is tough to say that he's the modern day Maddox, but he's one of the few pitchers who relies on his two-seamer, much like Maddox. Doesn't walk a ton of guys, much like Maddox. He works quick, but he also knows when he has to take a break.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that he got so in his head last year and had kind of an up and down year because of the addition of the pitch clock. He's been in the majors long enough that he didn't have the introduction of the pitch clock in the minors. So he didn't have that growing up and basically growing with the game aspect.
Yeah.
He was already in the majors when the pitch clock got introduced in Double-A. So now he is 100% kind of back in his mindset of being a good pitcher, and he understands the timing. You got other pitchers out there like Garrett Cole. I haven't heard any news on him since his injury.
Yeah,
They said they were shutting him down, but that was an elbow injury. That was a strained UCL, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, no permanent damage, but still enough that they wanted to keep him monitored. But I'll pull up his
Yeah, you got other guys in the league right now within the past 2 months that are dealing with these type of injuries.
Yeah.
And you just don't know exactly where they're going to be, where they're going to end up, and how it's going to look for them.
Yeah.
It's a whole different type of understanding because there's never been this many pitchers with the same injury out at the same time. But I also feel like this is kind of becoming a little bit like that NHL upper body or lower body injury. You don't know what the hell it is.
So for Garrett Cole, when you brought him up, the newest update on him is Garrett Cole stretched out to making 50 throws from 120 feet Tuesday and could advance to throwing off mound sometime next week. So right now,
So he's playing long toss.
it's looking like the earliest we could probably get him back is maybe mid-May to late May, because once he starts throwing off the mound, he's obviously going to have to make some rehab starts. But if they're not pushing him to throw off the mound this week, but I mean it's already Thursday, so I can imagine we'll have him off the mound Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe at most. And then after starts, mid-May, I say we see Garrett Cole again.
Yeah, I'm definitely under the just the mindset of that sucks. Sucks for you. Oh well. I mean, just please don't happen to my fantasy pitchers. But yeah, sucks. Because it's not that I'm tired of hearing about it. It's just I'm tired of it being the same injury over and over. And it's typically the power pitchers that are getting this injury, or the pitchers who have an immense break on their breaking balls, or just have a funky delivery and stuff like that. Like, It's just understand that you did this to yourself.
Yeah.
It's not about the pitch clock. It's not about any of that. You did it to yourself because it's the way you pitch. So it happens. I mean, if you're good, you're going to get that bag. That's about it.
So obviously we'll see how the UCL injuries keep churning out, but hopefully it's nothing too crazy. But it seems like regular pitchers have become somewhat of an anomaly. And that brings me to a question for you, Rich.
Hit me.
What baseball player comes to mind when you think of someone who just out of nowhere had an outlier of a season or an anomaly of a season, just something that just out of nowhere?
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
It's from 2018, so it's pretty recent. Played for the Padres. Christian Villanueva.
That's an interesting pick.
This kid came up. He played 110 games, 351 at bats. Batted like 279, something like that. 20 homers, 46 RBIs, 15 doubles. His entire career. Remember how I said he had 351 at bats in 2018? His entire career, 383 career at bats, 24 total homers. He was gone from baseball after 2018. What the hell happened? I got nothing on this guy. He's just gone. He's a fart in the wind.
So,
Like it's silly because listen, that's not a crazy good season. That's a damn good season for someone who played in 110 games at 351 at bats. That means you weren't starting in 110 games.
no, you were off.
You were off the bench, you were showing up, and you were kind of just you were playing when they told you to play. You didn't have a guaranteed spot.
Yeah.
You're a fourth outfielder. And you have a solid damn season. Get the hell out of here.
So my pick for an anomaly. He is going to be a very familiar name to you.
Ooh.
Rich, do you remember Jacoby Ellsbury?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
Red Sox legends.
I want to bring this to your attention, and I'll start off by saying this. Jacoby Ellsbury, in his 11 years in baseball, only had 2 seasons where he hit over 10 home runs. 2 seasons where he hit over 10 home runs.
Really?
Going down the list, his first year, he hit 3. Second year, he hit 9. Third year, he hit 8.
Ooh.
In an injury year where he played 18 games, he didn't have a home run. In 2011, 32 home runs and 105 RBIs.
Ooh.
32 fucking home runs. He hit 321 on the year. He stole 39 bags, which not his highest, which was 70 in 2009. But 32 out of just completely nowhere. The year after, he hit 4. Year after that, he hit 9. And then he went over 10 in 2014 and hit 16. How in the hell do you go from not hitting above 10 to a 32-105 season? That is insane.
I mean, you said he had an injury plagued season prior?
The year before, yeah. In 2010.
I wonder if one of his fruits that he just absolutely loves in his juice is of the anabolic style.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Which kind of points to Joe's pick. Did you see who Joe picked?
I did, and that guy had not a great career, but he had one of the greatest seasons of all time. Let's see, buddy. What year was it?
Are you pulling up the stats?
I have it right here. It was...
Okay.
Oh, yes. It was the good old season of 1996. This gentleman, his career totals prior were 4, 3, 2, 21, 13, 12, and 16. And then the season of 1996 happened. and he put up a big old fat 50 burger. And when I say a 50 burger, this was an unprecedented 50. And then after that, in 97 through 2002, it was 18, 18, 24, 19, 8, and 1. Woof. So, let's see. In 1996, he also came ninth in the MVP race, which is crazy. Who won MVP that year? Juan Gonzalez, because he hit 314 with 47 home runs and 144 RBIs.
Whew.
Didn't lead the league in a single category. Crazy. But he did it in 60 fewer at-bats than most people. So, the gentleman that Joe brought up, good old Brady Anderson. I know you're all thinking, who the hell is that white boy? It is the whitest name you could have, Brady Anderson. He was playing for the Orioles, and he just absolutely, he went hard in the paint for one whole year. He figured out what baseball was. Because before that, he was like, I sometimes play baseball. And then after that, he went, I sometimes play baseball. But that year, he said, I am baseball. Whew. 50 home runs. He didn't even lead the league that year. McGuire did with 52.
It's really
silly.
just insane.
Silly.
It's one of those things, man. Like, guys who just don't do anything have these spectacular seasons where you're like, oh my God, this guy's incredible. And then just like you said, they're like a fart in the wind. They just disappear. We never see them again. It's actually crazy.
Dude, that 96 season was just absolutely nuts for stats. Holy shit. It's literally like everyone was like, you got steroids? I got steroids. You got steroids? Do you want to trade? And they're talking in front of Bud Selig. And Bud Selig's like, have fun, guys. Just responsibly. Don't share needles. Because holy shit, dude. Ken Caminiti won the NL MVP that year. Who? He had a solid career. He had 40 home runs, 130 RBIs. Didn't lead the league in anything. Andres Galarraga had 47 home runs, 150 RBIs in the NL with 18 stolen bases. And he batted .304. Holy shit.
Like, it's insane.
What the?
Like, you just never see like this. Like, and like, you talk about 96 being a crazy year. If we're really going there, then we need to talk about 2019. 2019, when the balls were getting juiced, dude, everyone was hitting 40.
There was a lot of people.
Guys who have absolutely zero pop in their bat were putting up a minimum of 20. Eduardo Escobar, who's not really known for his power, he can hit. Don't get me wrong, he can hit the ball. I think he hit 35. Charlie Blackmon, who's also not known for his power, which is 5 years ago, and I think Charlie's got to be 35 now. He's in his year 30 season. He put up 35, I think, or 32. 2019 was such an insane year to look back on because you're like, dude, how in the hell did half of these guys hit this many home runs? I think there were like 10 guys that hit over 300. Something that just never happens.
I mean,
it's such a weird time, man.
The top 7, but there's also 4 guys tied with 7 in 2019. Or there's 4 guys tied at 7. All had 41 home runs. It was 53, 49, 48, 47, 45, 44, and then 4 tied with 41. Pete Alonso led the league with 53 in his rookie year. Eugenio Suarez had 49. Jorge Soler had 48. Bellinger had 47. That was Bellinger's MVP season, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Trouty had 45. Yelich had 44. And then Nelson Cruz Arenado, Bregman, and Ronald Acuna Jr. 41. And then after that, you have another 10 guys between 39 to 36. And then, holy shit, there's so many people who had over 30. 2019 was a ridiculous year. You are absolutely correct. There was over 50 guys with over 30 home runs.
Yeah, that's insane.
You don't see that. You don't see that.
And the craziest
Cole Calhoun had 33.
So the one name that you kind of grazed over a little bit, but I want to bring him back up. He's a good hitter, but to have over 40, Alex Bregman? Are you serious?
Do you remember Alex Bregman was in that home run derby and he hit 2?
Yes.
And that was in Cleveland because the dude does not have launch angle. He just has line drive power.
Which benefits him greatly in Houston because Houston has a short porch in left field, which is great for righties.
The Crawford box, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But 40 home runs? Like, Jesus Christ. I don't think he's eclipsed 25 in the past, 3 years. I think he might have done it once, but I don't think it's been a constant thing for him.
Well, I can tell you right now, he has 84 at-bats this year. He's batting .202, and he has 0 home runs.
It's insane to me, man.
He had 41 in 19, 31 in 18, and 25 was his max. He's been playing since 16. Dude, listen. Do I think Bregman is a solid third baseman? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes.
Dude's very good. I mean, even on I guess you would consider a down year. Last year, 2023, 724 plate appearances, 622 at-bats, 25 home runs, 98 RBIs. Still batted .262. It's not a bad year. Not a bad year at all.
No. But not in the slightest.
Dude, he was runner-up MVP in 2019 to Mike Trout. He had a higher WAR than Mike Trout. He had 119 walks on the year.
That's insane.
That's very impressive. But Trout hit 45, 104 RBIs, 110 walks. His on base was higher, slugging higher, OPS higher. Pretty impressive. That's
I just find it funny.
Not what I expected.
How 2019 was such an insane year for players. And then the very next year we got the COVID season.
Yeah.
I feel like the COVID season brought out some guys that it was just that had
Jose Abreu winning MVP.
Dude, Luke Voit put up, I think, 20-something home runs and at least
I think it was 20 flat.
He was hammering the ball. And we're like, wow, dude, look at Luke Voit. Come out in 2021 and we're like, oh, dude, Luke Voit actually sucks. What were we talking about here?
Who?
Dude, you talk about 2 years in baseball that went back to back that were just the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows with COVID. And then we've kind of balanced out in the middle over a couple years. But 2019 felt like a fever dream and 2020 did not help at all because that also just felt like an insane fever dream.
I mean, speaking of Mike Trout, I mentioned it in the intro. Dude, it's fishing season. But it's going to be a weird year for him. He has currently, as we speak, 10 home runs, 13 RBIs.
The solo
He is on pace for a 64 homer season with 84 RBIs. Can somebody get on base for Mike Trout?
Hold on. We talk about Mike Trout having this issue, right? I want you to do me a favor. I want you to pull up Tyler O'Neill's stats for Boston.
Tyler O'Neill is having a very good year.
When he's not hurt, absolutely. But you want to talk about someone who is just home run to RBI ratio is actually kind of insane right now.
Holy shit. Wow, I did not know this.
7
home runs, 8 RBIs.
The dude is a solo home run king. We can talk about Mike Trout not having people on base, but Tyler O'Neill has 7 home runs to 8 RBIs, and he's hitting almost 300. You talk about someone not getting any runners on for his home runs. the number one suspect is Tyler O'Neill. There's no doubt about that.
Is he? He's not batting leadoff every inning, is he?
You would think having that stat, man.
That's
like that
silly.
That is insane. That I don't understand how you have 7 home runs but 8 RBI. That dude might finish the season with 30 home runs and like 35 RBIs.
Dude, he's gonna accidentally have a 3 RBI game and then get hurt.
And he's hurt already.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's going to be the most accidental. Ah, no. I sneezed and threw out my back mid-game.
Oh, God. The old Cody Ross injury.
Dude.
Having a pillow fight with your kids falling off the bed and hurting your shoulder.
Dude, I can't remember who it was. I think it was a Rockies pitcher. Years ago, they were carrying groceries up the steps and tore their Achilles. Dude. All right, next week we're going to talk about our best horrible injuries. We have to, because it's one of my favorite things. And honestly, I'm okay with us broadening different sports too, because horrible injuries off the field are just the best.
Off the field injuries, my God, dude! I feel like you could write a book on some of the people have got hurt doing.
There is books.
I feel like, dude, Mickey Mantle would probably have a bestseller with the injuries he got. And you're not going to look me in the eyes and tell me that all of those came from playing baseball. That dude...
No, dude, Mickey Mantle definitely was like, I tried a new sex position, hurt my butt.
Like, that dude for sure...
Tore a glute.
Like, tore his hamstring just giving it to someone's daughter. Like, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, dude. I invented this new position called the wheelbarrow. I think I blew a flat.
Like, could you imagine him giving that... And it's funny how we start with Mickey Mantle at the beginning. We're coming back to him at the end. Mickey Mantle just going to Yogi Berra and be like, man, I can't believe I can't play today. Yogi's like, why? What's up? You all right? He's like, dude, I was with some girl last night and I pulled my hamstring. Now I think my knee shattered. I don't know, man. Yogi Berra's like, Jesus Christ. Like, what? And poor Art Shellix over in the corner going, man, what a team I'm on.
I can't wait to be 100 and tell this story.
He's like, dude, when I get to 100, I'm going to tell this story to somebody, and they're just not going to believe it. Art, I'm telling you, buddy, reach out. I want these stories. I want it. I want these stories in the worst way.
I don't think there's anything better than listening to super old timers talk about the debauchery they used to do.
I agree.
I touched this girl's knee in a Packard. What?
You're like, what did you do? It's like, yo, bro, you got to watch it. You say that to you. That might come back.
Listen, man, I don't know you. You don't know me, but that's things you can't say to me. I saw her ankle. Be careful, buddy. Are you okay?
Kicking in to final thoughts. Rich, what do you got? What are you looking forward to this week?
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm really looking forward to the Phillies staying on a roll. I mean, they're playing good ball. Their rotation's been fantastic. Bullpen, little shaky. You got 2 guys in the bullpen who are reliable right now. And I want to say 3. I'll take that back. Alvarado has been reliable. He's just had 2 bad innings.
Yeah.
I just want them to stay head in the game. Bryce baby is back. He did what Bryce always does, where he hits some stupid home run after some stupid event that happened to him in his life, and he's like, what'd I tell you? And everyone's like, shut up, Bryce. And he's like, what'd I tell you? It's one of the coolest things in baseball that this dude just has a knack for the uncanny. Whenever anything happens positive, he hits a home run.
Yep.
Castellanos, where everything negative happens, he usually hits a home run. Except this year. I would really like for him to have a freaking day off.
I think we all would.
Instead of giving Brandon Marsh another day off, Let's give Nick a day off. That would be great. I know you're trying to get his swing on track, but Topper, start making good baseball decisions. Please. Topper, you're kind of playing like lineups what the lineup is. Go. Get out there. You mother Canucker Canadian. Just do it right.
I like it. Very valid points. For my final thoughts, the first thing that comes to mind is that's what's in.
That's what's in.
And the reason I say that is because the Philadelphia Phillies, are opening up a series in San Diego with the Padres.
We are going back to Cali. Ooh, West Coast trip.
The Phillies are what's in. The Padres kind of scuffled a little bit for a couple of days there, but it seems like they're getting back on track. I'm expecting a really good series. If I had to pick, I think the Phillies take 2 or 3. I think right now Nola is going to go out tomorrow. He's going to dominate. And then you get Power Ranger, and I think Ranger right now is just – I don't think there's many pitchers who are actually better than him.
Except the pitcher that he's facing.
Yeah.
He's matching up against Dylan Cease.
That's going to be a great game, and I'm genuinely –
if all goes well, it's going to be low scoring for both sides.
I love low scoring games. I'm all for it.
So do I. That's baseball, baby.
And then we get Christopher Sanchez on Sunday, and I think he's going to give up the 1 game. But I'm expecting 2 or 3 from Philly. Outside of baseball, though, I am actually seeing Bert Kreischer on Saturday night, so that'll be a fun time. Looking forward to doing that. And yeah, I think it's going to be another great weekend of baseball. And I am looking forward to coming back here next Thursday, sitting down with you, hopefully Joe, depending on how his very, very rare case of hand, foot, and mouth disease, chickenpox, is coming along. It's
fully evolved. Oh,
it has fully evolved. I don't know how it's happened. From what Joe had told me is that while he had hand, foot, and mouth disease, he was wrestling around with a chicken. He got pox. So he is just battling right now. And we send our well wishes to him. I've never seen anyone get chicken pox, hand, foot, and mouth disease,
and foot
herpes. It's the most insane thing. He sent me a picture, and all I could say was, you might want to call the Make-A-Wish Foundation, because Joe, I'm going to tell you, but I don't think you got much time left with it. But hey, we've seen more immaculate comebacks.
What's the scariest thing a child could ever see? John Cena. John Cena.
What's that?
So I guess we can fudge the numbers on Joe's age. See if Make-A-Wish will send John Cena to him.
If Joe gets John Cena, I'm going to be pretty happy. But I kind of feel like with how things are looking, I feel like Joe's.
I'm not. It's a death wish.
I kind of feel like Joe's getting Stan Lee sooner than later.
Speedy recovery, my friend. Love you, brother.
Joe, we love you. We miss you.
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to Drunks on the Pond, episode 6. We hope you guys like, share, subscribe, follow us on the gram, Drunks on the Pond. Going to be starting up a Twitter soon. You can also follow us there. That'll be in the coming days to week. And yeah, I'm Jay. That's Rich. We love you guys. And always remember to stay drunk. All right? Cheers.
Woo!